Arun, and my DSP lab project is speaker recognition, and my teammate is Sai Pranav. Speaker recognition system contains two main modules. One is feature extraction and other is feature matching. Feature extraction is nothing but collecting the required data from the input signal, and the feature matching is procedure of identifying the unknown speaker from already known speakers. Feature extraction, mel frequency substrate coefficients MFCC. The main purpose of MFCC is to mimic the behavior of human ears. We choose MFCC because it is less susceptible to variations. Speech input typically recorded at sampling rate above 10,000 Hz. The sampling is chosen to minimize the aliasing effects during the conversion of analog to digital. Sampling signal can capture all frequencies up to 5 kHz, which mostly cover the sounds that are generated by humans. Here we can see this is the process of computing the MFCC. First we pre-emphasize, later we do framing and then windowing and then discrete Fourier transform. After we apply Mel filter bank and then discrete cosine transform. Here the first step is pre-emphasis of the input voice signal given. The goal of pre-emphasis is to compensate the high frequency part that was suppressed during the sound production mechanism of humans. So we use high pass filter in the pre-emphasis. After pre-emphasizing the signal, we do frame blocking. Here the input signal is segmented into frames between 15 to 20 milliseconds with overlap of 50% of the frame size. Usually the frame size is equals to the power of 2 in order to facilitate the use of Fourier transform in future. In this step, the continuous signal is blocked into frames of n samples with the adjacent being about m. The first frame consists of n samples here, and the second one begins after the m samples after the first one. This means the overlap is about n minus m. This process continues until the end of the signal, and this resulting one is called spectrum or periodogram. After frame blocking, we apply Hamming window. Hamming window is applied because in order to keep the continuity in between the two frames, and this is the formula we use for Hamming window. And after Hamming window, we do fast Fourier transform. It is performed because to obtain the magnitude frequency response of each frame. When FFT is performed on a frame, it is assumed that the signal within a frame is periodic and continuous. And after fast Fourier transform, we apply triangular bandpass filters. Here we use 40 triangular bandpass filters to get the log energy of the each triangular bandpass filters. These are used because the frequency band in FFT spectrum is very wide and the voice signal does not follow the linear scale. And this is the final step to compute MFCC. Here we bring back from frequency domain to time domain. Substral representation of the speech spectrum provides good representation of the local spectral properties of the signal for a given frame analysis, and MFCC or the real numbers can be converted to the time domain using discrete cosine transform, and this is the formula for applying discrete cosine transform. We exclude the first components from the DCT since it represents the mean value of the input signal, and these are the MFCC we have computed using MATLAB. This is the second part of the speaker recognition system. This is feature matching, and this can be done in various ways, either by using deep neural network or Gaussian mixture models. And we choose vector quantization because it is one of the pattern recognition technique. We choose this technique because it can be implemented easily and with high accuracy. Vector quantization is a process of mapping vectors from larger vector space to the finite number of regions in that space. Here these are the samples. Here in this figure we can see these are the samples. These circles are samples of speaker 1, and these triangles are the samples of speaker 2, and these black dots are the centroid of these clusters. Each regions are called clusters, and each sample we can call as code word, and this region is called code book. Okay, this is the final part. We need to cluster the training vectors. The acoustic vectors extracted from the input signal of the each speaker provide a set of training vectors for the speaker as described above. The next important step is to build a speaker specific vector quantization codebook for each speaker using those training sets, and we use this LBG algorithm for clustering a set of L training vectors into a set of M code book. Initially we take a one vector code book as a centroid, and then we find the distance between the clusters between all the centroids, and then we update the centroids, and then we find the distortion. It is nothing but the average of all the distances. And then this is called the splitting technique on the code words to initialize the sets for the two vector code book, and this splitting continues until the desired m vector code book is obtained. And finally, conclusion: speaker recognition has encouraged a lot of advancements within the past few years, emerging with new technologies and robustness, more particularly in speaker verification. And we have observed that MFCC of every individual user was unique, and because of variation in the environment may change the values, but mostly those are unique.
Hi, I'm Pranav. The part speaker recognition consists of two modules. One is feature extraction, another one is feature matching. So for feature extraction, we found out the MFCC of the audio files and then used this MFCC for feature matching. So this is the block diagram of the MFCC extraction. So first we take the input from the speaker, then we do a pre-emphasis, then we apply the Hamilton window, then we do the fast forward transform and convert it into frequency domain, then we pass it into a MEL filter bank, then we again take the DCT of the output, then we get our required MEL coefficients. So the first thing, pre-emphasis. The goal of pre-emphasis is to compensate the high frequency part that was suppressed during the sound production. It can also amplify the importance of high frequency formats. Pre-emphasis can be done as follows. So we use the filter command of MATLAB to do the pre-emphasis with the appropriate coefficients. The next step is frame blocking. Frame blocking is basically dividing the audio signal into many parts so that the computation of MFCC becomes easy. So we took the frame length to be 20 milliseconds with an overlap of 50%, and that would occupy nearly 99 rows for a 1 second audio file. So from frame blocking we get the 99 cross fs into 0.02 dimension matrix. The next step is passing the output from the frame blocking into Hamming window. A Hamming window is used in order to keep the continuity of the first and last points in every frame. Every row is multiplied by a Hamming function, which is as follows. So using Hamming window could get rid of discontinuities between the frames. The next step is doing the fast forward transform of the output. It is performed to obtain the magnitude frequency response of each frame. It is done by the inbuilt MATLAB command FFT, and then we consider the absolute value of the FFT. Next, we pass this FFT data into a filter bank called MEL filter bank. The MEL filter bank here consists of 40 triangular bandpass filters, and it is used to get the log energy of each triangular bandpass filter. First, we set the low frequency and the high frequency of the filters, and we need 40 filters. So first we convert this low filter into MEL scale low value and the high frequency value into MEL scale, and then we create a total of 42 values from the MEL low to MEL high. Then these are again converted into frequency domain, frequency scale. The obtained frequencies are the MEL frequencies. Now we create our MEL filter bank using the MEL frequency. For example, we want for the first filter, it starts at the MEL coefficient 1, reaches its maximum at MEL coefficient 2, and again goes down to MEL coefficient 3, and all this happens in a linear scale. So finally our MEL filter bank looks as follows. This is our MEL filter bank. Then we pass our FFT data into the MEL filter bank, and we get the log energy of each triangular bandpass filter. The next step is performing the DCT for the output. Here, the DCT is performed using the inbuilt MATLAB command DCT2. On applying DCT2, the data again converts back into time domain from frequency domain, and the new domain is known as QE frequency domain. The final outputs are our MFCC coefficients, and we need about 14 of them. So this is an example showing our emergency function. These are the emergency coefficients of the audio file, for example. So that is how we calculate the MFCC. Next, we have to calculate the Euclidean distance between two vectors. This is later used to compute the distortion between the code words and the testing audio inputs. It is basically given by this formula. So we compute the Euclidean distance here along the column vectors. So for that, the number of rows should be equal. Next, we run all the columns of the smaller one by one, and find out the Euclidean distance. Here, this creates the matrix required for calculating the Euclidean distance. So finally, we get a matrix with dimensions C1 cross C2. So this is how we calculate the Euclidean distance. And finally, here we take the root of all this sum according to the formula we have to. Next, we create the codebooks for the training audio file. Here, we use 3 audio inputs from 3 different persons for both training and testing. These 3 are for training and these 3 are for testing. Next, we take the tolerance to be 0.01 and then we create a 1 vector codebook. This will be the centroid of the entire set of training vectors. And then we take our initial distortion to be a bigger number, and then we perform the clustering for the required k centroids, k number of. So first we divide the whole space into 2 parts by this, and then we calculate the Euclidean distance between those. Then we find out the minimum of the Euclidean distance between these two, and then from that we calculate the distortion. Now, if the distortion is in this range, satisfy this condition, then it contains our required number of centroids, and it is our final code word. If not, it again repeats this cycle. Our next step is training. Here we take one by one all the training of files one by one, and then we read them and find the MFCC of the audio file, and then pass this MFCC of the file into the codebooks function. So from here we get n number of code words in the codebooks. Next step is testing. In the testing, we give the testing directory input and a code which is obtained from the training session. Here we first order the testing files, then find the MFCC of those. The initial value of distortion minimum is taken as infinite. Then we find the Euclidean distance between the testing vector and every training vector in the form of code. So from here, first find the minimum of the Euclidean distance and then the distortion. So from here we get the closest cluster to the given taken test input from the training vectors. So then finally, if this distortion is less than the threshold limit, then we assign the dist as the dist, which is the distortion found here, and this is our required speaker, and finally it displays this if this happens. So here we run all the training vectors and find the minimum, the one with minimum distortion, and that is declared as the speaker. So those are all our functions. Now we'll see the applications of all these functions. So initially we pass these training audios into the training function, and then we get the codebook for these. Next we take these as our testing inputs, and the codebook got from here, and then we do the testing phase. these files in the testing and training are taken from same persons. I mean, these three are different persons, but the S1 and training is the same person as the S1 and testing. So both are given by a same speaker, but as different audio files. Next, let us run and see this. Here it says that the speaker 1 matches with speaker 1. This speaker 1 is the one in testing directory, and this speaker 1 is the one in training directory. So as they were taken by same person, this saying that matching is true. Similarly for speaker 2 and speaker 3. So that is our speaker connection. Thank you very much.